I just want to go through a few steps so that you can see where to find some resources that are within this site. We've just looked at some slides as to moving around the site and looking at the curriculum, but I just really wanted to touch on some of the different ways to find resources that support the various learning outcomes. So if we go into our curriculum, and I'll just say I'm in grade 4, and you were just taking a look at the curriculum and taking a look through it. When we come to this learning outcome, and in the slide, you'd seen that idea of clicking on the I to see some resources. So when I click on resources, and for this, in this case, like non-contact forces, what I see here is a number of different resources that are linked to it. Now, there can be some more, even within this site, but these are the specific ones. There's 10 resources, and I just want to talk about each of these resources. There's TrueFlix, the Pearson Literacy Matters, Science Flix, and then Gizmos. And Gizmos we're going to come to a little bit later in the slideshow. But let me just quickly go through how you can use each of these other three. So first of all, TrueFlix. If I just decide to go, it doesn't matter when you have the same title, Gravity Watch It, Gravity Read It. It actually doesn't matter which one you choose. You're going to go to the exact same site. So I'll just click on Read It. As you can see here, it addresses the ELA outcome that's linked with it and the science outcome that's linked with it. So you know that you're crossing over between two cross-curricular subjects. So when I click on it here, what I'm going to do, and as I mentioned, so the video will take you to the same place because here's the video, and we can, as you see, we have these links on the side: start, watch the video, read the book. I'm going to talk about these other ones a little bit before we leave. But when I open the book that's through TrueFlix, there's nothing notable about the video. It has your classic play button. But as you can see, when I open the Gravity book here, I'm able to have it read to me. I'm able to zoom in and out. You can have it fit the screen and a table of contents on the side. So then once you've had your students both read the book and watch the video, you can click on the Explore More. Now I'll mention right now, when we go to Explore More, it brings us to some reading. And in all of these cases, these tend not to be as illustrated, okay? They're just pieces of writing. So for example, if I clicked on tide, as you can see here, I've got the ability to learn more about the tide. With project idea, okay, it does give you an idea of a project that you could do. Now, in the case of Activity Center for this Gravity book, I actually don't have a link, so they don't have something set up. Show What You Know is just a quick quiz. So here I'm able to do this. And so a student, you can say, well, do they know the difference between mass and weight, say? So I go, okay, weight, and it'll tell me that. And then with word match, we have 9 words. And in each of these cases, okay, a flat oval shape. And when I press on ellipse, part of a picture starts to uncover itself. Okay, and then I just continue all existing matter in space. So, okay, the universe. And this picture will begin to uncover. So that's TrueFlix in a nutshell. Okay, now coming back here, just to take a look at the other ones, we also have Pearson, and as you can see, Literacy Matters. So in this case, the learning outcome is linked to Science Grade 4, how forces act on an object without contact. I want to view the resource. And in the case of Pearson, we have similar features, just slightly different. So this is the book being read to me, zoom in and out. And of course, we use this just to go through our pages. But again, we have reading that all of your students can take part in. Okay, like I mentioned, Pearson doesn't have the equivalent of the quiz at the end, but that's just one of the small differences between them. And then lastly, of the three that I'm going to talk about, Gizmo we'll leave for later, but is the Science Flix. So when I click on Science Flix, in this case, investigate how forces act without contact, so the same outcome we had there, and I go to the View Resource. What's slightly different when mentioning the Science Flix, Again, much like the TrueFlix, we have a video and we have the reading, okay? But what you'll notice is you can set my reading level, okay? And so when I go to read it, right now I have my reading level as 1. For you as a teacher, it does give you the Lexile level. And so as we can see, I can change it from a Lexile level of 790 to 990 to 1110. So that, of course, is very conducive for students in our classes that have a different reading levels. All right, so then after we read it, the 2 extra links you have here are what do you think? And again, these are just some great questions that you can take up with your students in your class. And then for show that you know, it's a quiz, much like we saw on the other one, because both Science Flicks and True Flicks are scholastic based. I honestly don't know the history between the two. Okay, what I just want to take a moment before we go here is there is another way. In this case, what we did is I came in through the curricular website and then I clicked on the eye. The other way that you can actually go through all of these resources is when you click on Explore Resources over here. What we're able to see here is a resource collection. And you can view the collections, okay? And you'll notice in here, it might be notable that there's some, for those of you piloting social studies, there's some new material that just came up there. But you're actually able to see, instead of just seeing, for example, the true flicks or science flicks that are specifically related to that unit, you can see the entire catalog of what you can currently look at. So I click on True Flicks here, and when I open it, I will have, as we can see, 126 resources. Okay, and then I want to probably bring that back to, again, if you're teaching English or French. So I'm going to put it into English. And then as you can see, often they exist in pairs. So geology, watch it, geology, read it. Simple machines watch it, simple machines read it. But it will take you to the same location. But this just gives you a chance to look through. And then you're able to truly use the Find Resources as a search engine. So if, for example, you want to see what there is on insects, we can just type in insects. And in this case, I guess for just true flicks alone, there's just the one. And I can always, here's the odd thing I'll just mention, is if you delete the word insects, even if you click on update your browser, it will just have the 2. You need to click on clear filters, and then you go back to all 126. And then using the top here, you can come back to where you were. Now, sometimes this search engine is helpful. You'll notice here for the view resources, there's 2,936. And if I type in insects here, I'm going to come across a lot more, including you'll see, for example, these types of resources that are not linked to anything specific, like a catalog that we have with Pearson or TrueFlix or the Science Flicks. Okay, so again, I'm going to clear my filters. One other thing that I've done, and you may want to look at doing, is when I go into a collection, you can set your favorites. Okay, these are the 5 that I primarily use. So of course I just set that, and then I'm also able to search then just within my favorites. But I'm going to quickly turn that off because we're going to go out. And of course, like this is the part when I wish I could ask if there are any questions. One thing I do just want to quickly talk about before I finish up here is these documents just came out this summer, Stepping into Science. Everybody who's hopefully watching this video is teaching grades 4, 5, and 6. These are the K-3 materials that the province, along with the Big Four metro boards, created. Notably Edmonton Public, their name is at the footnote, I noticed. But as you can see, they have supportive material for every unit from K-3. What I have been told is that at the end of this school year, these same documents, Stepping into Science Alberta, will be completed for grades 4 to 6. So if you want to take a quick look just at what has been done in one of these to give an idea of what will be created by the end of the year for you, it might just be something that gives you a bit of support. And of course, I'm going to be supporting you I'll quickly be talking about what you can take from the website. Again, I wish I could ask if there were any questions at this point, so feel free to email me if you have any. But you've seen how to find the resources through the curricular website, and now you've been able to see you can just come into the collection and then just go in. Now, in the case of Gizmos, you should have received an email. I'll talk a little bit, but well, I'm not actually going to talk, but you'll have a slide about Gizmos that will hopefully walk you through using it. But you should have a login for Gizmos. If you have trouble with any of these other few that I mentioned here, I should have quickly gone in my favorites. Any of these, please feel free to contact me, okay? And once again, what you're going to be doing is when you use, what you might find easier than going through the curriculum is I can still use that filter. For example, when I go into TrueFlix, now we see there's no results. You have to be careful of turning off your favorites sometimes. Is if I'm that grade 4 science teacher, I might come into TrueFlix and then put myself onto Science 4. And now what I have here are my 30 results, which are really because they're paired, 15 resources. 15 resources from TrueFlix that I can use throughout my Science 4 year. Okay, just before we're done, I want to make mention of one other thing. So that will hopefully guide you looking through these resources that are on here. The other thing that I want to make mention of, and once again, you'll have to make sure, just in case you don't have your name up in the corner here, that you are logged in, because you'll notice that boards are something that have the lock symbol beside it. If I click on boards, boards is an area where we're able to take a look and find some conglomerations of materials that have been put together for specific subjects. So right now you'll see my boards. Well, I've actually, you can create a board yourself. I've never undertaken this yet. But you can say you want to see all boards. And if I click on all boards, all of a sudden there's 212 of them. Well, what I do then is I just say, Kate, well, I'm going to go back to my example of teaching grade 4 science. I'm teaching grade 4 science, and I come in here, and as I can quickly see, you will notice, and that's fine, that there is no language filter here. But we can often tell the French from the English. So then all of a sudden, I have these boards for different units of Science 4. So I might say, okay, Science 4 computer science. And I want to know what resources are there for me on this board. And so I come here and I'm going to have, as you can see, lots of links that are going to help me. In this case, it's actually walking through all of the units. I don't know why it would have done computer science linked to all of them. I guess because they put computer science at the top. But so you can see here is some of the resources for you to go through to find and link to you teaching computer science off of this board. All right. And that's about it. So once again, that's the boards and the exploring of resources up here. Okay. Between those two, you can hopefully spend some time with whichever science you're teaching this year. And again, I really don't want you to hesitate to send me any questions about these resources available here, whether it be by email. Send it to my nate.seiler@rdpsd.ab.ca, or you can always use science@rdpsd.ab.ca. And I look forward to fielding any of those questions. Okay, thanks.